Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In previous video, we have developed all of the APIs required for user controller. So if you haven't watched that video, just go to description and check out the link. In this video, we are going to upload the APIs for file upload, that is related basically video upload, then the image upload, and then to get the video and also to get the images. For that, first I'm going to implement or create a controller. Right click on this, click on new and select a Java class, and over here you have to give it a name. I'm going to give it a name file upload controller. Create the class. Then we need one service. Let me quickly minimize these two. I need one file upload service interface. Then we quickly copy the name because we need a class with the service impl and create a class, and this will implement file upload service. This one, when you select this, automatically this will be imported. And one small thing which what we have to do is we have to add one annotation @ service. This is a stereotype annotation, and this will allow IOC container to manage the bean of this specific class. Okay. Before we dive into writing the APIs for this file upload controller, first thing we have to write one handler, the util folder. So in the util folder, we will add one file. I'm going to give it a name, that is file handler util, and create the class. And this class is going to be a utility class, so I'm going to keep the constructor as private. File handler util, and we cannot create the object of this one. That's why I'm giving this as a private constructor. Next thing, we are going to write a method which will basically extract the file extension from the actual file name. So for that, I'm going to write a public static so that it can be called by using the class name itself, and this is going to return a string, and I'm going to give it a name extract file extension. And to this one, it will accept the original file name. String file extension, double quotes, close this. Then we will check if original file is not equal to null, and original file name dot contains dot, because we need to extract the extension. So suppose whatever the file is abc.jpeg, so it will return jpeg. So for that, we are checking that if contains dot or not. Okay, so file extension is equal to original file name dot substring and original file name dot last index of, and we will check for dot, and from there we will take the substring, and then we will simply return file extension. Okay, next method we will create to find the file by the UUID. So public static, and this will return the path find file by UUID. In this one, we will accept the path, directory, and string UUID. Why we are accepting a directory? Because we have to fetch two things. One is the video, another is the image. So we can use this for the both purpose. And this can throws an exception, find not found exception. Okay, so we will simply do return files.list, and to this one we will pass the directory, and in that list we will filter path dot get file name dot toString dot starts with UUID dot find first, or else throw the exception. New runtime exception, find not found for UUID, and whatever the UUID, you can throw that exception. Okay, so this one is done. Next thing, we have to write one method to detect video content type. So quickly write that. So public static, and it's going to return a string detect video content type string, and we will accept the file name. If file name is equal to null, then we will simply return video/mp4. This will be the default. If the file name dot ends with .webm, in that case we will simply return video/webm. So like this we have to add couple of more. So let me quickly add those. And the default, we will simply return the video file, that video/mp4. So you can pause the video and you can add these. This is a OGG, then you have to return this, MKV, AVI, then you have to return this one. If MOV, then you can return this one. Like this, you have to add those. Next thing what we have to do is, we have to write another method to detect the image content. So next one is public static, and this will also be string detect image content type, and this will accept file name. Let me please scroll a little up. Again, we will check if file name is equal to null, then simply return image/jpeg. If file name dot ends with .png, then we will return image/png, and you can add as many as you want as per the different images, whatever the image you want to allow as per that. So we have to add this png. Support we will give GIF and WebP, and these are the return types. Next method which we are going to write is to parse the range headers. So let's quickly add that. So public static long parse range header string range header and long file length. Okay, now this one, first we will create a string array. Range is equal to range header dot replace. Now this one we will pass bytes is equal to, and we have to replace with double quotes, and then we have to split by dash. So this will basically range. So what will happen is, it will parse the HTTP range from range headers. Example, suppose we have bytes is equal to 0-1023, and what it will do is, it will return start and end byte positions of the file. Okay, next thing is long range start is equal to long dot parse long, and to this one we will pass the range 0, because we are going to have, we have split it on the basis of dash. So suppose if we have a range like this, bytes is equal to, and we have 0-1023. So at the 0th position in the range, we will have 0. And at the first position, we will have 1023. Then we will get the long range end is equal to, this one, range dot length, and it's greater than 1. We have to check, and not range, and we will check that at the first index is empty. So not if we have placed, and then we are checking for empty. Next thing what we will do is we will simply do long dot parse long, and with this one we will get the range first index, or what we will do is we will get file length minus 1. Let me move these to a next line so that you can easily be able to read this. Okay. Next thing what we will do is we will simply return new long array of type range start and range end. Now this method is also ready. Next thing what we have to do is we have to write one method to create a range resource. Now we have a complete file, but suppose we have a 2 GB file. Then we cannot directly upload or send that completely to the UI. What we have to do is we have to break into chunks and we have to deliver it. So now we are going to write a method. What it will do is creates a Spring resource that reads only a specific byte range from a file for partial content delivery. So that we are going to do it. So for that we have to write a public static, and this is going to return a resource create range resource. Into this one, first we will accept the path, file path, then we will get long range start, then we will get long range length. Let me quickly minimize this left panel so that we can easily write this. Okay, so over here, and this might also throw IO exception because anyway we are going to read a file. So IO exception. Okay, so first thing what we have to do is we have to open a file in read only mode for random access. So for that we have to create a random access file object. So file reader is equal to new random access file. Now this one we will pass the file path dot to file, and then we have to give it a mode, in what mode you want to open. So I want to open in read mode, so we will pass R. Now what we have to do is we have to move the file pointer to the starting position of the requested head range. So file range, file reader dot, we have to seek, and where we have to seek till the range started. Suppose first bit already has been read. If it's 0, then it's fine, it will be at 0. Suppose we are trying to read from 1000 byte to 2000 byte, so it will seek to that 1000 bit, and then from there it will start reading. Next thing what we have to do is we have to create a custom input stream that limits reading to only the requested byte range. For that we have to create an input stream that is basically partial content stream is equal to, and I'm going to create a new input stream, and when we do this we will get a method, override method, and this we have to provide the implementation. So into this one, first thing what we have to do is we have to keep it a track of total byte read. So for that I have created a variable private long total bytes read is equal to 0 so far. Then we have a method read. Into this one it reads a single byte from the file and returns -1 when the range limit is reached. Basically when we are returning -1, it detects, it will tell the system that we have reached the limit. So into this one, let me quickly remove this part, and with this one what we will do is we will check if total bytes read is greater than equal to range length. In that case what we will do is file reader dot close, and we will simply return -1. Okay, if this is not the case, then what we will do is total byte read, we will increase it and return file reader dot read. This is the first thing. Another thing is we have to override another method that will basically accept the buffer, offset and length. So this will basically use to read multiple bytes into a buffer for efficient streaming. So let's quickly do that. So override, nothing but public int read. Into this one it will accept 1 byte array, buffer, int offset, int length, throws exception, that is IO exception, and into this one we will simply start checking if we have already read all bytes in the request range or not. So if total byte reads is greater than equal to range length, this is the first thing. If this is the case, then we will simply file read dot close and return -1. Then what we will do is we will calculate how many bytes are left to read in this range. So long, let me scroll a little bit up, long remaining bytes is equal to range length minus total bytes read. Next thing what we have to do is we have to read only up to the remaining bytes or buffer length, whichever is smaller. So for that what we will do is we will simply type int bytes to read and we will typecast it to int and we will do max.min, whichever is minimum. So length or remaining bytes. Okay. Next thing what we will do is perform the actual read operation from the file. For that what we have to do is int bytes actually read is equal to file reader dot read. Into this one we will pass the buffer object and we will pass the offset and we will pass the bytes to read. Now after this what we will do is we will update the counter if bytes were successfully read. So we will check if bytes actually read is greater than 0, then what we will do is we will update the counter total byte reads plus equal to bytes actually read. Next thing what we have to do is if once these all stuff is done, what we will do is we will simply close file if we have finished reading the entire range. So if total bytes read is greater than or equal to range length, it means that however we want to read that range is crossed or it's equal to this total byte read, then we can simply close the file reading. So file reader dot close and what we will do is we will simply return the bytes actually read. Okay. I think we have added one extra this. Let me bring it back. Okay. After this one, last thing which is remaining is we have to add a override the close method and close the file read. So override public void close. Not here. Let me look at this below, just below this one. Override close, and this will also throws IO exception. And into this one, we will simply close this file reader dot close, and this will close, and let's close this one as well. Okay. Let's quickly check this. If this is the case, this one is done. And for this one, while showing an error, let's quickly check this. Missing return statement over here. Missing return statement. Okay. After reading the file, one more thing what we have to do is we have to wrap the custom input stream into the Spring's input stream resource with the specific content whatever we have read. So for that, what we have to do is we have to write over here simply return, and we have to return input stream resource, and we have to select the Spring core, this one. And into this one, what we will do is we will simply return the partial content stream, whatever we have read, and just override the method, override. And with this one, we will simply type public. Okay, we must over here return new, and we just delete this public long content length, and return the content that is nothing but range length. Now save this and close this one. Not this one, we have to close. Range this, this, yes. Just delete this. This one is correct. Let's try to wrap this up. This one, this still here. I think we have added one extra close braces somewhere. That's what causing the issue. Let's quickly check this. Okay. Let me quickly check this. So this showing that we need a resource. So if I go to the top, here you can see this one is wrongly imported. So what we have to import for the resources, let me quickly change this one, as we are trying to return org.springframework.code.io.resource. So now if we go till the end, and here you can see this, now the error is gone. Okay. So this method is done, and the last method to this one is nothing but to create full resource. It means that if you want to serve the entire file with the extension in a single go, for that you have to write one method. So public static resource, and again this time we are going to use org.springframework.co.io, create full resource, and we will add accept path, file path, and this will throws IO exception. Then resource is equal to new URL resource, and with this one we will pass the file path dot to URI, and then we will check if not resource dot exists or not resource dot is readable. So in that case, what we will do, we will simply throw an exception, throw new IO exception, and with this one we will pass file not found or not readable, and we will pass the file path. If this is not the case, then what we will do is we will simply return the resource. Okay. So now the development for this one is done. Make sure you match these all imports in your project. If you have any issues into this one, please match this with the whole code. So over here we made few stuff, but now it's working. So if you check, if I double click on this, for this input stream, we have all of these code added into one. But after this, we have this input stream, which is basically returning the partial content stream in the form of input stream resources. Okay. Now let's quickly move back to file upload controller, and we will start writing the APIs over here. First thing, what we have to do on top of this class is adding annotation. So first annotation will be @REST controller. And the secondary thing is we have to set the path for this one. So for that, request mapping. So into this one, we will select /API/files. And what we will do is we will auto wire the file upload service which we have created. So auto wire private file upload service, because we are going to write the business logic in the file upload service simple. So first API is nothing but to post the video. So post mapping, and the endpoint for this one I'm going to give is nothing but upload/video. Okay, public, and this is going to return a response entity of type map of string comma string. Upload video, and this will accept two stuff. One is first is file. We are going to accept only one thing, that is file, and this is of type multi-part file. Multi-part file. The name for this one I'm going to give is file. Okay. Over here, first thing what we will do is we will call the file upload service to store video file. String UUID is equal to file upload service dot store video file. We will simply call this, and we will pass the file inside this one. Let's quickly hover on this one and create the method store video file. That will basically return the string, and it will accept the multi-part file. Okay. Before we proceed further, move back over here, and we have to create the return statement. So return response entity dot OK, and into this one we will create a common method, that is build upload response, that I'm going to use the same method for the video as well, and as well the image. So build upload response, and with this one we will pass the UUID, and we will pass the file. Hover on this one and create the method over here. Okay. So in this one, what we will do is we will simply create a hash map of string comma string. Response is equal to new hash map. Then we will put response dot put. We will put the UUID. And then we will put response dot put, and we will put the file name. We will get from the file dot get original file name, and then we will put response dot put, and we will put the size, the string dot value of. Into this one we will pass the file dot get size, and we will simply return the response. So now at the REST controller, the thing is done. Next thing what we have to do is we have to go to the file upload service, and here we can see this. We have one file, one abstract method. We have to go to the file upload service simple, and here we will see the error because we haven't provided the implementation for this one. So let's quickly provide an implementation. So hover on this one, and we will implement method, and we will select this one and click on OK. So before we provide the implementation for this one, first thing we need to get the path for the image upload as well as the video upload. So private, I'm going to give it a path, video storage location, and this path will be imported from Java NIO file. So hover on this Java NIO file path, import this one. Private path Java NIO file, and the second one will be image storage location. Next thing, we will read these two values, nothing from the application of properties. So at the rate value, and with this one we will read it from $, and we will set the value, that is file upload dir, which we have already added, or if you see file upload .video dir, if you copy this one and you can go to the application of properties and you can search over here, Here you can see this. We have added uploads.videos, and just for the safer side, if this file is not available, in that case we have set upload/videos. Okay, let's quickly add this in a variable. So private string video dir video directory. The second one is nothing but the image dir. For that, what we will do is we will again do @value $file upload image dir and this upload/images. So if this is not there in the application properties, it will pick up this as a default value for this specific one. Okay, so private string image dir. Okay, next thing, after the construction is done, we have to get the absolute path and set into these two. And if these files are not available, then we will create the directories. So @post construct, what we will do is public void init this dot video storage location is equal to path.get paths.get. Into this one we will pass video dir dot to absolute path dot normalize. Then this dot image storage location is equal to paths dot get, and we will pass the image dir dot to absolute path dot normalize. Then what we will do is we will simply create this files dot create directories, this dot video storage location, and files dot create directories. Into this one we will pass this dot image storage location, and we will also catch the exception, catch exception ex, and we will throw new runtime exception that could not create the directory where the uploaded files will be stored. And this might be of so many regions, like there is no permission or something like this. So in that case we will do this. Okay, so we'll get the absolute path from the beginning till end, and we are trying to create it over here. And if that is not able to do it, application not able to do this, then we will throw an exception. Okay, now we will move into the store video file method, and here we will simply call another one, that is simply store file, and in this one we will pass the file and we will pass the video storage location. Now we are going to create a common method which is we are going to use for the image as well and for the video part as well. So store file. So into this one, first thing what we have to do is we have to simply get the extension, file extension. So string file extension is equal to file handler utils which we have created dot extract file extension. Into this one we will pass the file dot get original file name. Next thing what we have to do is we have to simply create one UUID is equal to UUID dot random UUID dot to string. Finally, what we will do is we will prepare the file name. File name is equal to UUID plus file extension, and new file name is ready. Next thing what we have to do is we have to check if the file is not empty, and we will wrap this up in the try catch block in the case of IO exception. So IO exception ex, and if it throws an exception, what we will do is we will simply throw new runtime exception. That is failed to store file plus file name and exception. Okay, so in the try block, what we will do is we will simply check if file dot is empty. If this is not the case, then what we will do is we will, if this is the case, it means that file is empty. We will simply return or throw an exception, runtime exception, failed to store empty file, and we will pass the file name. This is the first thing. If this is not the case, it means that we got a file which have some content. So we will check this path, target, location is equal to store video location. So store location. So this is not only for video. So let me just change this one to store location. So store location dot resolve, and we will pass the file name into this one. Next thing, we will simply files dot copy, file dot get input stream, target location, and standard copy option, and we will use replace if exists. And what we will do is we will simply return the UPI ID. This is the first thing. Let me close this one, and let's quickly test this endpoint. Start our application. So our application is starting. So our application is up and started at port 8080. Let's quickly jump into Postman. Okay. So we have this endpoint, that is API/file/upload/video. If we see over here, let's show you. So API/file/upload/video. So if we go over here and we have to go to the body, and over here we have to pass a file. We have to select this form data, and we have to select file, and we have to select the type over here as file, and we have to select any file. Let me quickly select a file from my system. Let me select this. This project we have uploaded last week. So if you want to check, you can check this on our channel. So I'm going to select this video and click on open. And here you can see this file is available over here. Now, if I try to send this, it will throw 403 because we haven't added the token into this one. This endpoint is a post call. If I hover over this, you can see localhost :8080. Now what I will do is I will go to user management and I will use the token for the login API. So login API, I will call this admin. I think we don't have this. Let me click check one user. From here, let me quickly check in the database. Use this one, select star from users /G, and there is one user. Okay, so last user@email.com. Let me quickly go over here, go to login, and let me quickly gather the token. So we have already demonstrated these all stuff in the previous video. So I hope you have this collection already with you. Then we have the password as user123. We are storing as a plain text just for the demonstration purpose. Okay. Move back over here. What we have to do is active as 1 and email verified as true. I have to set, and I will also set role as admin. So update user, update users, set email underscore verified is equal to true, and we will set role as admin, where ID is equal to 3. Okay, this one is done. Now you can see this one is also true, active is true, and we have role as add. Now quickly jump back over here and quickly minimize, hit this one. Go to our application and let's check. Clear this. Okay, so in this one the base URL is not set. Let me quickly do that. Come over here, copy this one, go to login, and let me quickly remove this and paste this. Now send this one, and here you can see this, we got the token. Now let's copy, minimize this all, file upload, let me quickly minimize this and come over here, go to authentication, go to bearer token, and we will paste the token. And now send this. Now we are trying to upload a 1 GB file, so it will take a while. Okay, so now this one is added. So actual file name was this one, and size of this upload file is this much, and the UUID ID is this one. So this one is returning 200 OK, that file is uploaded. So let's go back to our application and let's see if that one is uploaded or not to the folder. So here you can see this uploads folder is created, and in the videos we have one file MP4 of that specific UUID. So this file is added. So it means that this specific API is working fine. So next thing what we have to do is we have to jump into the file upload controller, and we have to add another endpoint to upload the image. So add the post mapping, and this will accept, and then I'm going to give it a name, upload/image public, and this will again respond with response entity of type map of string comma string upload image, and we will accept in the request param the file. This will again be a multi-part file. We will create the UUID variable is equal to file upload service dot store image file. Into this one we will pass the file, and this method is not available. So what we will do is we will hover on this create method, and this method is created. Now move back over here, and what we have to do is we have to simply return response entity dot OK, and we have to simply call this build upload response, and we will pass the UUID and the file. Next thing, go to the file upload service, and we will see we will have this method added. And what we have to do is we have to simply click on this one, and we will hover over there and implement method, select this store image file and click on OK. So now a new method is added. In this method, what we have to do is we have to simply call the same method, store image file, return store file. Into this one we have to pass the file and the image store location. So only location difference is there, but everything apart from that is same. So let's quickly restart and let's test this. So go to file upload controller, go to postman. Again, I will add a token, the same token, basic here, this one. And this time I'm trying to send an empty file. I haven't selected any file and try to send this. And you can see this file failed to store empty file and this file ID, whatever we have generated. So because we haven't sent any file, so that was an empty file. It means that it's reaching our service implementation. Now quickly select a valid file. Select this one, and I'm going to select one thumbnail. Okay, open, and here we selected the file. Now send this. So you can see this Netflix clone thumbnail p.png. The size of this one is, and this is a UUID which is generated. So move back over here to the Netflix clone, and over here we will see in this specific image now we have one file that is nothing but our thumbnail. So it means that this one is also uploaded successfully and saved at the correct location. Okay. Next thing what we have to do is we have to add another endpoint to serve the video. So move back over here. This will be nothing but a get mapping. The endpoint will be video / and we will accept the UUID. Public response entity resource serve video @path variable. In the path variable will accept UUID @request header. Into this one we will accept the value is equal to range and required is equal to false. String range header @request header. Value we will accept the token. Required false. String token para. Okay. Into this one we will simply call return file upload service dot serve video, and with this one we will pass the UUID and we'll pass the range header. Hover on this one. Create method, and now we got one method. Let's go to file upload service simple by clicking over here and click on this one and implement method and select this and click on OK. So now we have added the serve video method. Let me quickly move this till the end. So let's quickly remove this part first. Okay. So first thing, I'm going to wrap the whole stuff in a try catch block. So catch exception E, and in this case we will simply return response entity dot not found dot build. If any exception is thrown, we will simply return that. Okay. So first thing what we will do is we will try to get the file path. So file path is equal to file handler util dot find file by UUID. To this one we will pass the video store location because we are trying to fetch the video, and we will pass the UUID. Next thing, we will get the resource is equal to file handler utils dot create full resource. Into this one we will get the file path. Okay. So this resource is again of type, not this one. The type is from the Spring. So resource, this is from org.springframework.co.io. Okay. Now here you can see this. Now we didn't got any error over here. So response. Okay. Next thing what we have to do is we have to get the file name. So file name is equal to resource dot get file name. Next thing, content type string content type is equal to file handler utils dot detect video content type, and we will pass the file name. Next thing, we will check long file length is equal to resource dot content length. After this, we will check if we want to get the full content. So is full content request, and we will pass a range header. And if this is the case, then what we will do is we will simply return the build full request response. So we'll quickly create this first. So is full content response, create this method. So into this one, we will check only one thing, that is return range header is equal to null or range header is empty. So if range header is not provided, it means that we need the full file. Okay. So over here, first thing what we will do after this one is build full video response resource, and we will pass the content type, we will pass the file name, and we will pass the file length. Hover on this one and create a method. Then we quickly move this till the end. Below this one. Then we quickly minimize this. Okay. So in this method, we will simply return response entity dot OK dot content type will be media type dot parse media, and we will pass the content type. Okay. After this, the header will be http headers dot content this position, and to this one we will pass the file name, and we also have to set the accepted range, and we have to set the content length. So let's quickly do that. Select this, let me quickly add this. Okay. So over here we have to set the file length. This name is wrong, file length over here. So the name over here is wrong. File length. Okay. So we added this content disposition, and we are passing the file name, acceptance range, and the content length. We are all these things we are returning, and we have to simply set in the body, we have to set the resource. Okay. Next thing what we have to do is, if this is not the case, we have to return the partial values. So we will simply call return build partial video response, and we will call the file path. We will call the range header, we will call the content type, we will call the file name, we will pass the file length. Hover on this one, create method, then we quickly move this till the end of this class. Okay. So into this one, this method also can throws IO exception because we are trying to read the file. So throws IO exception, and this we are trying to handle over here by handling this in the try catch block. Okay. So inside this one, first thing what we will get is range. So long range is equal to file handler utils dot parse range header. So range header comma file length. Next thing, long range start is equal to range 0, long range end is equal to range 1. Okay. After this, we will check if not is valid range. We will check with the range start. We will check with the range end. We will check with the file length. Suppose we have given a range which is larger than the actual file. So to check that, we have to generate this method. So hover on this, create method. So in this one, we will simply check these all stuff. So return range start is less than equal to range end, and range start is greater than and equal to 0, and also we have to check range end is less than file length. Okay, if these three conditions are satisfied, then what we have to do is, it means that it's a not valid one. Then what we will do is we will simply return build range not satisfied response. We will pass the file length. Hover on this one, create method. We move this till end. Okay. To this one, we will simply return response entity dot status 416 dot header. We have to return http headers dot content range. Third one, and with this one we will pass simply bytes star slash plus file length, and we will build this. Okay. Next thing what we will do is we will check over here long content length is equal to range end minus range start plus 1. We will get the resource range resource is equal to file handler utils, and we will call the method create range resource. Into this one we have to pass the file path comma range start, and we have to pass the content length. Now we got the range file, and this method will pick up that range whatever we have provided, and it will return the file. So now we have the file. Now we have to simply prepare the response. So return, and we will prepare response entity dot status 206, and we will set the content type as media type dot parse media type. Into this one we will pass the content type. Next thing, we have to set the headers, content dispose, and the range and the content length. We have to set these all stuff. So let me quickly do that. Okay. So over here I have added headers as HTTP headers, the content disposition, and we have passed the inline and the whatever the file name which we have created. Then we have accepted range is in bytes. Then we have content range start and dash and range ends. So that in the next call it will send from next range end as a starting point, and then we have to return by adding the, suppose we are reading 1000 bytes each time, so it will return 1000 to 2000, and we are passing the file length, and finally we are passing the content length. This is the total content length. On the basis of this it will decide the next range. Okay, so dot body, and with this one we will pass the range resource. So let's quickly restart our application and let's quickly test this. So over here we are getting some sort of error. Let's quickly check this one. So video. Quickly check this file upload service. Okay, so resource over here is wrongly imported. Import this. And if we go to file upload service, now here you can see this, the error is gone. Let's restart our application and let's test this. Okay, let's go to file upload controller. Over here also we have made a mistake. The same import stuff. Okay, now start our application. Go over here. So in the video upload, we have this UPI ID which we have to pass. So let's go to serve video and this video UPI ID. Let me quickly paste this. And we also have to add a tokens authorization bearer token which we have previously added. And in the path, we have to send this. So our application is up and running on port 8080. I'll move back over here. Let me quickly copy the token. Send this. So we are not passing the range header over here. So we can quickly pass this range header from 0-1000 like this, and send this. I'll quickly remove this. This is optional. So over here we can see maximum response size reach. If I see over here, okay, quickly close this and let's try with the range header of 100 and send this. Okay, so we are reaching the same limit. Range, okay, the name is range, not the range header. So in the Postman we won't be able to test this. How we are going to test this is in this one. Let's quickly copy this one, paste this, and we will copy this whole part and we will paste again. And also what we have to do is we have to pass the token. So token is equal to and we have to paste this token and hit enter, and you can see this. Now it's returning the file as per view. If I inspect this and go to console, network, all, and if I play this, here you can see this, it's fetching the media, the next media automatically. So we are able to read the whole file, right? So this one is also working as expected. Let me quickly move back over here to the Postman and let's quickly stop the application. So serve video is also working as expected. Next thing what we have to do is we have to serve the image. So last API which we are going to add into this one is to get the image. So get mapping into this one will add /image/UUID public response entity resource serve image, and we are accepting the UUID in the path variable. So path variable string UUID return file upload service dot serve image, and we will pass the UUID. Save this, hover on this one, create method over here, and now we have added the method over here. Go to this one, select on this, implement method, select the serve image, click on OK, and let's quickly cut this and move till the end of this file. Serve image. Okay, so let me remove this quickly. So over here again we are going to wrap this in the try catch block. If any exception is thrown, we will simply return response entity dot not found dot build. If this is not the case, then what we will do is first we will get the file path is equal to file handler utils dot find file by UUID, and we will pass the image store location this time, and we will pass the UUID. Then we will get the resource is equal to file handler utils dot create full resource, and into this one we will pass the file path. Next thing we will get the file name. So file name is equal to resource dot get file name string content type is equal to file handler utils dot detect the image content type, and we will pass the file name. Once we got the file name and content type, we will simply do return response entity dot OK dot content type. Into this one we will pass media type dot parse media type, and into this one we will pass the content type. Next thing we have to set the headers. So header HTTP headers dot content disposition, and we will set inline, and we will set the file name is equal to slash double quotes plus we will set the file name double quotes slash double quotes. And what we will do is we will simply return as a body and we will return resource and save this. Now the serve image is also ready. Now quickly start our application and let's quickly test this. Our application is started on port 8080. Move back over here. Let me quickly copy the token, serve image, and we will set the bearer token, and this one is already here. Okay, so upload image. Let me quickly copy the UUID ID from here. Serve image, paste the UUID ID and send this. And here you can see this, we got the image. So this one is also working fine. So move back over here. Okay, let me quickly stop this one. So we have already developed all of the endpoints required for the file upload controller. So that's it for this video, guys. In the next video, we will start with the video controller and we will develop all the endpoints required for the video controllers. So please like, subscribe and share with your friends, and thanks for watching.